So very quickly we're going to talk about scenes. As you now know, you can only work with scenes in Flash if you create an actionscript 3 document. So we'll be creating an actionscript 3 document. So we now have our stage set up, and you'll see scene 1 appears in the top left hand corner where the clapperboard is. Anywhere you see that clapperboard indicates where you are with your scenes. So that's the first thing that I'll point out. Also, you'll notice that I have properties and library in this side panel. What we're going to do next is add another tab here. So we go into Window, and towards the bottom, under History, you'll see Scene. That gives me this floating panel. If I click on the actual tab itself and drag it into this space, you'll notice that I've now docked it under the library, and I can drag it left or right and move it to wherever I want to see it. If I want to, I can also click and pull it back out. That's called a floating panel. Click on the tab. This is called a docked panel because it's docked in here with the other tabs. So this is a really important workflow. So here's scene 1, and it says that it's in scene 1 over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw out a basic scene. So this is like our establishing scene. So let's turn it into a park scene. So there's some kind of hedgy background and something else over here for balance. That's scene 1. How do I create another scene? There's a few ways to do it. You can go up to Insert, Scene. And what this will do is create scene 2. Scene 2, as you can see, is blank. The other way to do it is at the bottom of this long panel, you'll see a New Scene button. And when I click on that, you'll see I've now created scene 3. So I can use my scene panel to jump between scenes 1, 2, and 3. And the other way I can do it is by using my clapperboard over here and jumping between scenes 1, 2, and 3. So let's go into scene 2. And with a black paintbrush, I'm going to draw a different scene here. So say we've now zoomed in on what's happening on the left hedge section of our park. So there's our path there, and maybe there's some action happening in this area here. That is now scene 2. And maybe scene 3 is what's happening on the other side of the park. So we're now back over here, and there's some kind of action occurring in this area. That's how simple it is to create scenes. In my opinion, the best thing you can do when you're working with Animate is create all your scenes in one go as the first thing you do. That way, when you start to draw up characters, you know how much room they're going to take up in the scene. If you're creating characters first and scenes second, then you don't know how they're going to interact in that space. And a few more things about scenes. At the moment we have scene 1 followed by 2 followed by 3. If we drag and drop, we can change the order of scenes by simply dragging and dropping them around as though they were layers. We can double click and name the scenes as well. So first scene, etc. And the other thing that's great is if you've done a lot of work creating a scene and you want to reuse it later, at the bottom you have, next to the trash can icon, you have a duplicate button. What will that do? It will give you a direct copy of the same scene, and that might speed up how you work.